Hi, my name is CJ Rosenbaum. I'm the founding partner of Rosenbaum Familaro. We are the law firm behind AmazonSellersLawyer.com. And we are by far, head and shoulders, the #1 company, law firm or not, to help Amazon sellers write plans of action, analyze your accounts, identify the issues, and help you get your ASINs and your accounts back if you are suspended. So what I want to talk to you about in this particular video is the inauthentic suspension. It is the #1 reason for an account getting suspended. It is the #1 reason for a seller to lose a listing or an ASIN or a group of ASINs. And Amazon is not accusing you necessarily of selling an inauthentic product. It's kind of a misnomer. It's really a sourcing issue. Amazon wants to see and Amazon wants to learn where you purchased your products from. And the best case scenario is where you trace it back to a distributor who can go all the way back to the manufacturer. But if it's your basic inauthentic suspension, all you need to do is gather your invoices or your receipts and show where you purchased it from to show that they are most likely genuine products. Now, Amazon will tell you, you can read online that you are allowed to redact information. I highly suggest that you don't redact anything. And in fact, what I'm going to talk to you about today are a whole list of issues that you want to make sure that you have in your invoices when you submit them to Amazon. So please watch the entire video. I'll try and make it short and sweet and keep to the point, but it's really important that Amazon sellers know what they need to have on their invoices, both before they submit it, and even when you're sourcing your products. You may want to look at your distributor and say, okay, let me see what your invoices look like, because I may need to show this to Amazon one of these days. So here we go, and please watch through the entire video, because each tip I think is vital. I don't think any one aspect of your invoice is more important than the other, but here are just a couple of things. One, the name on your invoice. It should be the same name as your Amazon account, okay, if at all possible. Now that might seem a bit silly since a lot of people and a lot of companies have corporations that are doing business as an Amazon account under a different name. ABC Corp selling as like world's greatest seller or something like that. It's much better when you're sourcing your products. It is much, much better when you're sourcing your products if the invoice is issued to the same name as the Amazon account. So if you haven't been doing that, that's one of the tips of many I'm going to give you during this video, is to source your products and have the invoices made to the same name as the account so it matches up. You also want the address on your invoice to match the address on your Amazon account. It shows that it's one business and it shows that it was really going to you. Amazon has learned over the last 20 years that people will source and ship to different addresses and buy and sell. And if you get hit with the inauthentic, you want to be able to show that that invoice was made to you. So to your Amazon account and also to the address on your Amazon account. And the same thing goes with your phone number, okay? And also the website. Everything should match up. Now, here's something odd. I was really stunned when I learned this, okay? I was stunned that Amazon also wants to see the same email address. So on your invoice, you have the same store name, the same address, right? The website that matches, preferably in the same name also. But whatever email address you have on your invoice should be the main email address you have on your Amazon seller's account. They look at this as a soft match, so you want to make sure your invoices have this matching information. So that's just the top portion of the invoice. I'm going to go through each portion of that invoice, so please keep watching and make notes and write it down or rewatch this, because this stuff will help you get your account back and help you get your listings back. Now you go to the next section of an invoice, and it's usually like a chart or a graph that indicates the quantity, the price, and a description of the product. The quantity of the invoice should match somewhere close to what you're selling on Amazon. Because again, you're trying to show Amazon that these were purchased from a reputable supplier, a reputable distributor to be sold on Amazon. So those quantities should match up. It doesn't have to be identical, but it certainly shouldn't be a tenth, and it certainly shouldn't be 10 times what you're selling on Amazon. You want them to match up as much as possible. When it comes to the description of the product, you want that description to be as detailed as possible. You want to have the SKU on there, the UPC code, the description, the name of the product, the size. If there are different versions, male versus female for clothing. If there are different color products, okay, if it's a speaker and they come in blue and black and red and white, you want those descriptions to be as dead on and as inclusive as possible. I don't think the description can ever have too much information, so you want to have that description match as much as possible to the description on the detail page. Now, the next line, usually it's to the right of that invoice, is how much you are paying per unit. Now, Amazon says you can redact. I highly recommend that you don't. Throughout the arbitrations, we have seen that Amazon looks for any reason to really discredit your invoices once you're in this loop. So don't redact the prices, and the price per unit should be in the realm of reality. It shouldn't be too cheap, it shouldn't be too expensive where you're losing money. It should be what the wholesale price is really for just about any seller, and there's a range. So let's say the wholesale price is $10 a unit. You shouldn't have it for $4, and you certainly shouldn't have it for $20. But don't redact the price. It's an indicator that you purchased it and the pricing was real. Also, the math between the per unit and the price, it has to match. If there are mathematical mistakes, it's an indication to Amazon that your invoice might be fake. Okay, so you really want those to match up as much as possible. If there is a place for handwriting on the invoice, you should have some handwriting. If there's no place for handwriting in an invoice, it should not have any handwriting. The fonts on your invoice, the fonts on the invoices should all match. I don't know why, because we know there are certain pre-printed invoices that are just multiple fonts and they don't look neat and orderly, but they're certainly still real. But the fonts on your invoice that you're submitting to Amazon should match, because Amazon looks at fonts that don't match in size and also the typeface as an indicator that the invoice might not be real. So you want the invoices to all match. You also want to make sure the dates of your invoice are close. So if you're selling a product on June 1st, your invoice has to be before that because you had to purchase it before you were selling it. I mean, this stuff kind of makes sense. But also you don't want it to be too old, okay? Amazon will often ask you for invoices for 90, 180, or 365 days, and you want to make sure the dates match up, the quantities match up, and the prices match up, that it all makes sense, 100% makes sense. So that's the tips. Now, if you're submitting invoices to Amazon, you need to look at your own invoice and see how could someone make any points, how could they argue at all that my invoices might be fake? And look for holes and fix them before you submit. Don't submit pro forma, don't submit Excel spreadsheets, don't manipulate them or change them yourself, okay? Amazon is nailing these people, but for invoices, those are the tips for today. And if you like this video, if you learned something about submitting invoices to Amazon, please like this video, please share it. And if you would like anything answered at all, either one-on-one or in a video or in any fashion that I can help you or your group of sellers, email me, cj@amazonsellerslawyer.com, cj@amazonsellerslawyer.com. Also, unlike Amazon, we will actually speak with you, okay? So if you have an issue, feel free to call us. We are here to help. I believe in paying it forward. The phone number is 8779-SELLERS, 8779-SELLERS. Thank you very much for watching and learning about inauthentic suspensions and what you need to focus on your invoices.